My friends, welcome back. We are today talking about what does it cost to start an Amazon FBA business from scratch. I know there's a lot of content about this out there, guys, but it's still the most common question I get. Now I'm going to give this to you in two different versions. I'm going to show you exactly what it would cost me or a successful Amazon seller to go out and launch a new physical product brand from scratch. And then I'm also going to break it down and show you how I would do this if I was just getting started. Because when you're a newbie, you probably don't want to throw $5,000 into every single product. You want to take things slow and prove it to yourself and see that this works. Once you have some products up and selling, you're going to really quickly see the opportunity and potential that exists in this business model. And at that point, you are going to be really anxious to get in there and invest more and more and launch more products. But for that first product launch, or really like the first 3 product launches, we're going to have to take things a little bit slower and really pick and choose where we want to invest our money. What is going to get us profitable the fastest? And I should also mention, guys, there's a lot of different ways to make money on Amazon. If you're interested in learning about all the different ways you can source products and all the different business models that are involved with selling on Amazon, check out my last video where I talk about the best ways to get started in this business in 2020. There's a lot of different business models like retail, arbitrage, and flipping that require almost no money to get started. You can literally go out, start making money almost immediately. But today we're going to be talking about private label, contract manufacturing. These business models have real long-term potential. You can turn these into multi-million-dollar sellable assets. So those are the ones that most people want to focus on. Arbitrage, flipping, a lot of these are kind of fly by night and you're always hustling to make another dollar. When you're doing private label or contract manufacturing though, we're selling one product thousands of times. So if we just improve that one product, if we just improve that conversion rate, that click-through rate, we are going to permanently make a lot more money forever. So let's get into it, guys. The first thing that you are going to be purchasing when you start on Amazon is the actual seller account. Why do we do the seller account first things first? The process to actually get set up and approved to sell on Amazon, yeah, it can take a day or two, but most of the time it's going to take a couple weeks. You got to go through the entire identity verification process. They have to verify your documents, utility bills, bank account statements. Amazon loves to make you jump through hoops when you're first getting started in this business because that's going to cut out a lot of the scammers and a lot of the bad sellers that we don't want to deal with, right? So let's think ahead here a little bit. And the very first thing you want to do in this business is open up your Amazon seller account. It's going to be a $40 charge, and well, it's technically going to be $39.99. We'll call it $40. The $40 charge is going to be for the professional seller account. So when you're first getting started, you can save some money here. My bad. You can save some money here and go $0 on this. You can spend no money and just wait and start with the individual account. You have the individual account, you have the pro seller account. If you start with an individual account and then just switch it over to a pro account later, you can go through, do all the identity verification, be an approved Amazon seller, and then once it comes time to launch that product, you switch it over to a pro account, pay your $40. So yeah, you're still gonna have to pay the $40 regardless, but we can at least wait a little bit. And if it does end up taking you longer than a month to launch your product, well, then you've just saved $40, right? So that's the very first thing you want to do in this business. And the next thing you want to do is actually figure out what product you want to sell, right? So product research software is typically going to be the next thing that people purchase. Different product research software includes Jungle Scout, Viral Launch, Helium 10. I'll include links to all those with discounts in the description below. But all of these product research tools are very nifty. Nifty! They're very sexy. I'm sexy and I know it. They will pull all of the data from Amazon and allow you to analyze it and see different ratios and charts and very cool stuff. Most of the product research tools out there end up being around $50 a month. So let's go ahead and say that this is going to be another $50 a month for you. Now, most people out there are going to say you need product research software, but at the end of the day, you can get this started with no product research software at all. So if you are trying to save money, you can spend $0 on this, and it's going to take some extra time. Like, you're going to have to go around Amazon a little bit more and just, manually look at what's going on rather than depending on these tools. FBA Toolkit.com is a really, really good resource. what it does is you can take the bestseller rank of any product and it will convert it into how many units per day or per month are actually being sold. And honestly, even if you have all the product research software in the world, you may find yourself using FBA Toolkit still because it's so useful and so accurate. So FBA Toolkit, great alternative for people that don't want to buy product research software. Product research software, at the end of the day, it's all looking at historical trends, historical data. There's a lot of product trends and there's a lot of winning products and winning brands that you cannot find with product research software because the trend hasn't happened yet. Right? So the other thing you can do here is just use your own audience, right? If you go and you build a Facebook group, there's a lot of people scared about 5G radiation right now. Well, why don't you just go create a Facebook group about 5G radiation? And once you have that community up and running, you can work with that community to figure out what you want to sell those people, right? Like an idea I've had for years now that I've yet to see anyone do is a radiation-proof blanket that pregnant mothers can bring on a plane. When you're on an airplane, you're getting very high dosages of radiation. Most people don't know this. And it's becoming more common, like people are starting to figure it out. And as people figure out that they have this problem, they're gonna want a solution. So there's no amount of product research tools that's gonna tell you that trend is a winning trend, but I guarantee you 2 or 3 years from now, you will go find anti-EMF and anti-5G, anti-radiation blankets, anti-radiation clothing. All of this stuff is going to win because of the trends that are going on in the world, right? So a little bit of a long explanation, but again, you don't need to spend money on product research tools. Honestly, I see so many people that they get so bogged down with the data and what the tools are telling them. At the end of the day, most of you guys have somewhere in your heart, you know there's a product that should exist that doesn't right now. Those are the real multi-million-dollar products in my experience, and those are the products that are just never going to be found by product research tools. Once we figure out the product that we actually want to sell, we're going to have to source the product. We got to find someone to manufacture this thing for us, right? So we got to start going through suppliers and getting samples. I always recommend getting samples, guys. Yes, there are times in my career where I've done things without samples. But generally, I really, it's a rare circumstance. You should always be doing samples. I would recommend to do 3 sets of samples from 3 different manufacturers for any product you're going to do. And most of the time, samples are actually going to be free, but you are going to pay for the shipping, right? So if it's coming from China, it's usually going to be like $50 per sample. And I recommend doing 3 samples, right? So $150 is generally what it's going to cost here. And this is an area that we really can't skimp on. Gonna get this marker going a little bit. But yeah, don't skip your samples. Very important. Oh, that's working. Don't skip samples. And it's just not an area that you wanna skimp out on. After you get your samples from your supplier, you personally wanna be the one that's holding those and touching them and figuring out, is this quality good enough? Do I wanna put my name on this? Do I wanna put my reputation behind this? Once you find a sample that you love and a supplier that you love, then we move forward and actually place that initial inventory order, right? Your initial inventory is really gonna be the main expense of this business, and it can vary quite a bit. When you're first getting started, you're gonna be selecting products that are very low cost and low volume so that you don't have to go buy thousands of dollars worth of inventory right off the bat. A lot of the magic of this business is selecting a product that isn't huge right now, but is gonna be huge in a year or 2. Because with that, you're not gonna run out of stock, you're gonna be able to grow with the market and really dominate it all the way through. If you go into a market with very high volume and a lot of competition, you're gonna be competing with people like me that are willing to put $10,000, $20,000 into a product just to try it out, right? So you gotta select products that are early in the product life cycle. But like I said, inventory is gonna be one of the main expenses. And me personally, when I'm launching a business now and I'm launching a new physical product brand, still, I don't wanna put a ton of money into inventory. I like to keep my risk low when I'm trying things out. So even me now, when I am done with samples, I found the supplier that I love, I'm gonna go and buy inventory. Let's say our inventory costs $5 a unit. That's a pretty standard cost per unit coming from the factory. So if that's $5 a unit, I generally want to buy like 500 to 1,000 units minimum when I'm first getting started with a new product, because I just don't want to run out of stock, right? If I run out of stock, I don't know if it's actually going to perform well or not, right? I need 500, 1,000 units, launch the thing, got some giveaway units in there, and we're going to see if it works or not, right? So inventory, $5 a unit. Let's say we're buying 500 units. That's going to be $2,500 of inventory, right? And you start to see, again, inventory is the main expense in this business, the main expense. How do we reduce this expense when we're first getting started? Well, when we're first getting started, a lot of the magic in this business is basically the lean startup methodology. The lean startup methodology is all about how do we keep our risk low while we validate the idea, while we make sure that this is actually going to work. Once we know it's going to work, then let's throw time, money, energy, let's throw everything at it because we know we got a winner here. But the trick is we need to validate. We need to see if it's a winner or not, right? So when you're first getting started, your very first product, you don't know what you're doing, you don't want to lose the money, you want to start with a super low MOQ. MOQ is minimum order quantity. It's the minimum amount of units your supplier will let you order of the product. So you want to start with a very low MOQ when you're first getting started. When we're up and running and rocking and rolling in this business, we don't want to deal with middlemen, trading companies, all of these, because every single piece, every chain, every stop is going to be an additional person that needs to make 20% profit or whatever. When we're first getting started, we might go with a trading company just because they have a very low MOQ. And that allows us to start this business and get the brand running, get the product up and running, and make sure it's actually going to work. And then once we know it's actually going to work, maybe we go and we find a new supplier. We find the manufacturer themselves and we start doing higher MOQ orders with that supplier. But to tell you the truth, like, I am more worried about the product not working for that first order, right? So I'd rather keep my MOQ low. Even if I'm just breaking even on the product, even if it's barely profitable, I would rather keep my MOQ low, keep my risk low, and then once I know that the product's going to work and the customers love it and everything just worked perfect, then we can go put more additional risk into it, right? So start with a low MOQ. Start with simple products. Start with uncustomized products. Anything that drives up your MOQ and your initial inventory cost is something that you really need to question, is now the right time to do this? The real magic of this business, and really any business, is how do we get to that grand vision? You may have this vision of the perfect mousetrap in your head, but how do we get to that mousetrap? How do you build a brand around that concept of the greatest mousetrap? How do you stay profitable now when you're first getting started until we reach that vision, right? But to be completely honest, if you do everything you can here to keep your initial inventory costs low, you're still paying a good chunk of change on it. You're still probably doing, I would say $1,500 is pretty much the minimum you could spend on inventory these days. And this is where all the risk comes in too, because the risk of this business is that these products don't sell. So I always like to look at, what's the worst case scenario? If I had to liquidate all of these products on eBay or something, what would they go for? And again, you want to keep your initial inventory low as possible when you're first getting started. Use a tool like FBA Toolkit to see, for your top competitors or wherever you think you're going to rank, how many units per day or units per month are being sold there, and figure out, like, how much do I need to order to stay in stock for 30 to 45 days. You need to figure out how to get this business profitable with a very simple product and then continue to reinvest into that, buy more inventory after that. But we need to keep our risk low when we're first getting started and make sure everything's going to work before we go and take out a mortgage and bet the house on it. So that's your initial inventory. Once we found the supplier, we put in that initial inventory order. Most of the time, this is when I start working on the actual brand itself. Every single product that you launch on Amazon as a private label or contract manufacturer, doing those types of manufacturing, you are going to need branding to wrap that thing up in. Branding is way more important than people realize when they first get started in this business. Your branding is your positioning. It's the look, the feel, the tone, the personality, and your branding alone can really drive up the perceived value of the product. And it's something I spend a lot of time on. One of the things you're going to have to do with the branding is obviously your brand name. That's something that I just kind of do myself. I do have some various, crazy different methodology and testing methods I use to actually find the very best brand name and the very best logo. I'll put a link to those methods in the description below because those are all on the StartupBros website. But on top of the brand name, which is something that you kind of come up with on your own most of the time, what else is needed for your product? Sometimes you're going to be doing something like an embroidered logo on the product. Maybe you are actually putting a patch or a sticker with your logo on it on the product. When I'm launching a product now, I have a vision of what I want the purchasing experience to look like and feel like for the end customer, and then I develop that. Generally, it's pretty expensive now. I mean, now I go on 99 Designs and I get logos made. I go on 99 Designs to get packaging made. I even started going to 99 Designs for my actual Amazon product photos, which I didn't used to do in the past. So all of these things together, I mean, it gets pretty expensive to come up with real world-class artwork. I usually pay about $900 for a new product to come up with everything: the branding, the packaging, the inserts, the product photos, the Amazon infographics that are going on the listing. Everything all included, I usually get done for about $900 on average. But when you're first getting started, this is going to be one of the main areas that you can save money on. What do you actually need to start this business? So yes, we do need the brand name. Things like your logo. Maybe we need a logo. There's a lot of products on Amazon that I bet you can't find the logo. A lot of people spend a lot of time and energy on their logo and what their brand looks like. But the truth of the matter is, with e-commerce, it doesn't matter that much because everybody's looking at product photos. Those Amazon product photos are the entire impression that the customer is going to have of your product, right? So you can really concentrate all of your investment into those really critical items when you're first getting started and save a lot of money when you're first starting up. So again, you need to just think about what is actually needed. Packaging. Maybe you just go with your supplier's stock packaging. Almost every supplier in the world is going to have some type of free packaging, whether it's a plain white box or just a poly bag. Maybe you just use the cheapest packaging you can get from your supplier for the first 1,000 units and then upgrade your packaging once things are working and you actually know it's worth it. Too many people want to go just straight to the nicest version of this thing. And in reality, the magic of business, again, is how do I get started with the least amount of risk possible, with the least amount of money? And like I said, so use the supplier resources. And if you do need to actually get logos and graphics done, just use something like Fiverr. Fiverr, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a world-class logo. It's not going to be like the best logo. But you know what? All we're trying to do with this initial product launch is make sure that this idea actually works. So let's skimp on all of these things. Let's go to Fiverr for all of our graphics. Let's use supplier resources for things like packaging. Let's not even do an insert for now. And you know what? You can take this $900 way the hell down to like $15. Because really all we need is a couple things from Fiverr. The other thing you can do too is just take your own product photos. I actually have a really good guide and video on this as well, how to do your own product photography in your bathtub. Anybody can do their own product photography. Very, very good category to save money on here with the initial artwork, the logo, the packaging, the inserts, all of these different things. Another thing you're going to run into while you're working on your packaging is barcodes. If you go around Amazon, they are going to say you need a GS1 verified barcode. So what does that mean? GS1 is a third-party organization that basically validates barcodes and has this huge database of who owns what barcodes and something similar to that. You can go to GS1 and actually get your own barcode prefix. And basically, you will, in the GS1 database, it'll say this UPC code belongs to this company, and you will be the verified owner of that UPC code, that barcode. And it's expensive to do this. To get one barcode from GS1 is going to be $250. Now, if you're an established seller, you're going to say $250 for a GS1 barcode is nothing. That's fine. that is so worth it to know that my listing is not going to get suppressed and I'm just going to be completely fine for the entirety of this listing. Now, Amazon has said before, you need GS1 barcodes. My answer to this is like, what are you going to do about it? There's probably 75% of the Amazon catalog that has non-GS1 verified barcodes right now. And a non-GS1 verified barcode, like you can get these from tons of different websites, but the one that I always recommend is called Snap UPC. And you guys actually get a discount with this too. I'll include a link in the description or something. But Snap UPC, basically, when you have a bunch of people that buy these GS1 barcodes and don't use some of them, they'll sell them back to Snap UPC, and Snap UPC will now go and resell these GS1 verified barcodes. So these are still GS1 verified barcodes, but they will not track back to your company if you look it up in the GS1 database. What Amazon has said is that we only want GS1 verified barcodes. We are going to check the database. So what I would say, if I was just getting started, I would still go with Snap UPC. It's going to be like $5 to get barcodes instead. I would go with Snap UPC and give it a shot. Because worst case scenario, I'm going to lose $5 and I'm going to have some barcodes that I might not be able to use, right? Best case scenario is these barcodes are just going to work for you. And once you have the listing up and selling, you're good to go in my book. Now, again, Amazon has come out before and said, we are going to start enforcing this. We are going to go after everyone that doesn't have their own GS1 verified barcode. My response to this is, how would you ever do that? Because what is Amazon going to do? Shut down 75% of its product catalog? Jeff Bezos would be thrown out the next day. Like, there would be a shareholder revolt and it just won't happen. The other thing you can do too, guys, is a GTIN exemption. Since you are all going to be private label sellers, you are able to request what's called a GTIN exemption, which just says, hey, this product doesn't need a barcode at all. So at that point, you don't even have to pay this. So you know what? I'm sorry. Let's say $0 for that. I really don't see a reason to not go with the GTIN exemption at this point as a new seller. You're not even going to have to pay the $5. It'll just be free, no barcode for you, much simpler, much easier, and it's a great way to do it. So when the product is still at the factory, when it's still with the manufacturer and it hasn't left their facility yet, you're going to want to get an inspection company, or at least I often get inspections done. Your inspection is literally going to be someone or some group of people going to your supplier and measuring, testing, plugging in, pushing the buttons, really just testing all the features and functionality and quality of your product, and then delivering to you a huge report that says, hey, here's every single thing that's good or bad about these products. And then before you actually make your final payment for the inventory, you can make sure that the inventory is what you asked for, it's all good to go. And once you agree, then you make that final payment and the inventory gets released, right? So inspections, I really don't skip out on inspections. And usually an inspection for me, for a small amount of products, it's gonna be like $250. Now, when you're first getting started, you can skip this. If I was going to skip the inspection process, I would be asking for pictures and videos of my products coming off the production line. I would be asking my representative or my agent at that factory for tons of pictures, measurements. I would be really getting the salesperson that you're dealing with at the factory, get them to basically be your de facto inspector, right? It's not going to be as good, it's not going to be as unbiased as a pure third-party inspection. And for those of you wondering too, I usually use a company called VTrust for in-person inspections. So I would say skip this when you're first getting started. Skip the inspection. You just want to work with the supplier a lot. Get them to take pictures and videos of the product and be your inspector for you. And that's something very acceptable, very common to do, as long as you are keeping your initial inventory risk low. Once you know that the product is good to go and you are ready to receive it, most of the time when you're doing your initial inventory order, let's say it's $1,500, you're usually going to do like 50% up front and then the remainder, the last 50%, when the product ships, right? So at this point, you'll usually close out the balance of the order and then we're going to ship this thing. We got to get this product actually in our hands, right? Where are we going to ship it? Well, we're never going to be sending our products straight from the supplier into Amazon. There needs to be a third-party warehouse, some middleman warehouse in between the supplier and Amazon, because Amazon's rules change all the time. Stuff gets beat up in shipping, and we just need someone to do like a final inspection and prep before it goes into Amazon, right? So freight forwarding, again, is the first step here. We got to get the product from the supplier to us, to our warehouse. If you live in the United States, or if you live in, the country that you're going to be selling into, you can get this inventory shipped to you, and then you can check it out. That's really valuable to do. You can start to see exactly where you want to improve, what's good, what's bad. It is so valuable to get your hands on your actual products. But if you are outside of the United States or international to where you're selling, you're going to need a third-party warehouse. And the third-party warehouse is going to store that product for you. And let's say you want to order 2,000 units, but you only sell 500 a month. Well, maybe you're going to send 2,000 units into that third-party warehouse and then drip feed 500 units a month from that warehouse into Amazon's warehouses. You're going to end up saving a lot of money on fees, be much more profitable, and that's really the preferred way to run this business. So the product needs to be shipped from your supplier to either you or your warehouse. If it's you, it can be your house, it can be your garage, whatever, doesn't matter. If you're international and you don't have a warehouse, then you're going to need to use something called a 3PL, a third-party warehouse, third-party logistics. I have all sorts of recommendations for that in the description below. But again, we are going to ship this product from the supplier to our warehouse, whether that's us in our house or the third-party warehouse that we're using. Not only does the freight costs move quite a bit just based on time of year and things like that, seasonality, but it's also going to be majorly affected by the weight and the dimensions of your product. And this is why it's so important for new sellers to find small, light products that are simple and easy to ship, because freight ends up being the number 2 expense in this business. Let's say this is going to cost $500. It varies a lot, guys. It varies a lot. I recommend when you're first getting started to do air freight rather than sea freight and sea shipping. With air freight, you can assume that you're going to spend about $4.50 per kilogram of the shipment. Inventory and freight typically are the top 2 expenses in this business, and you need to be very conscious of those. What do you do if you're just getting started? Well, it's the same cost. There's nothing we can do. Freight is freight, and there's no way to really save money on it. So that is what it's going to cost to ship the product over. Now, once the product has actually arrived in your house or your 3PL, whatever it is, those products are typically going to be prepped, and there's usually some amount of work that needs to be done just to make sure that they're ready to be checked into Amazon. And once you have that ready, you're going to go into Amazon, create a shipping plan, and actually tell Amazon, hey, I'm sending in 100, 500, whatever. I'm sending in this many units of this product. And then Amazon is going to print a very, very cheap shipping label for you. And you're going to use that Amazon shipping label to ship the product and forward it into the actual Amazon warehouses. So forwarding your inventory is the next cost here. So we're going to forward the product to Amazon, and that is going to be very, very cheap. Usually it costs like $15 per 50 pounds. That's just a rough, out of my head. That's not like a concrete rule. And again, once Amazon receives the inventory, it's going to get checked into the warehouses. They put it into the FBA warehouses, and then it's available on the Amazon marketplace. Whenever a customer buys it, Amazon's going to ship it back out to that customer from their warehouses, and that's the way the supply chain works. Now, there's a couple other things that I do want to mention as well. Like when I launch a product now, and especially a new brand, I assume that I'm going to use the Amazon IP Accelerator program. The Amazon IP Accelerator allows you to go through and register a trademark with one of Amazon's approved law firms. And if you do it with Amazon's approved law firms, it's pretty much the same cost as any other law firm or any other trademark, and you get instant brand registry, which usually takes 6+ months of waiting for the trademark to be approved. If you're just getting started, you're gonna hold off on your trademark. You do not need a trademark to get started in this business. If you start, Will's Cookies, and I launch Will's Cookies with no trademark whatsoever, I still have a trademark. It's just an unregistered trademark. So it's much more difficult for me to enforce that. Amazon does not care. Like, Amazon's not giving me any special treatment because of an unregistered trademark. A registered trademark is when I actually file it with the government. They approve it. They say, yes, we agree that Will's Cookies is you. And at that point, Amazon gives you brand registry. Once you have brand registry, you get all these extra perks. You can really increase the conversion rate on your listing. A lot of good things come with it. And you get to protect your brand and your product just much, much more from hijackers and people that are, black hat sellers that are trying to take what's yours. So brand registry is absolutely essential in the long run. When you're first getting started, you might end up skipping this and just waiting 6 months to get brand registry. So just something to think about. If you were going to do this yourself, you can get trademarks done. I shouldn't put $0. $250 is about what a trademark will cost you if you're just doing it yourself. I don't recommend doing that though. I think you should do the IP Accelerator program. It's a no-brainer to get brand registry 6 months sooner. That alone is worth much more than $600. So. Now, another thing you're going to be wondering is, how do I actually get this product selling? Like, once it's up, the listing's up, the product's in stock, how do I get people to actually look at it though? So there's a couple things that we want to do to actually launch the product. First of all, Amazon PPC is just so essential. Amazon PPC is pay-per-click marketing, and this allows you to insert your product in certain search terms or on others' product listings. And you can literally get extra visibility on your product where it would not exist otherwise, right? And yes, people always ask, like, what's your budget for PPC? The truth of the matter is, I don't have a budget for PPC because, like, I spend all the money I can on PPC until it's not profitable anymore. If I give you a vending machine where you put $1 in and $2 comes out, what's your budget? Like, there is no budget, right? You just feed it. You feed it until it stops. And that's how PPC is for me. I figure out what keywords are profitable and I spend as much money on them as I can. Like, inventory is my problem with PPC, not budget. I can't find enough things to spend money on. So with a new product launch, you want to go quick, guys, because we're trying to get products at the beginning of the product life cycle and really capture all of the growth that's coming, right? So we want exposure on these products, and I like to spend money on PPC. I see it as a profitable investment, again. So me personally, I would never spend less than $300 a month on PPC. I mean, I would never spend less than $300 a month on PPC. When you're first getting started, this isn't really something that I think you should skimp on. Again, like, it's a machine where you put $1 in, $2 comes out. But let's go ahead and just say that there's going to be, $50 a month minimum on Amazon PPC, just lowering your budget and starting slower. That's perfectly acceptable, perfectly fine to do. So just think about it. $50 a month is what I'd recommend as a bare, like, you can't do less than $50 a month on PPC. $300 a month is what I'd really recommend. And the truth is, you're going to spend as much as you can because PPC tends to be profitable. I would always factor in that you're going to have some promotional units as well. People, back in the day, things like giveaways and rebates were really big. But rebates and giveaways can still be a really good way to drive that initial buzz and get people excited, get some initial reviews on the product. So let's assume we're going to spend a little bit of money on rebates and giveaways and promo units. Again, I don't really like the idea of using like rebatekey.com or something to do this, but that's what most people are doing. I personally would rather you have your own audience, a Facebook group or a Facebook page or an Instagram page, like whatever it is. Have some way to interact with your customers on demand whenever you want, where you can go to them and say, hey guys, we're doing a 30% off flash sale just for you guys right now. That sort of thing. Now you're still selling your products profitably and your best customers are psyched. Those are the people that are going to be leaving you reviews, taking photo reviews. Those are going to be your real brand ambassadors. And I just love the idea of, rather than just giving it away to random people on Rebate Key where everyone's just trying to get free stuff, why not build an audience, even if it's just 50 of your customers sitting in a Facebook group? Anytime you want to drive your ranking, get more reviews, do a rebate and a giveaway in that group to your customers. So much safer, Amazon won't catch you, and it's just so much more effective as well. For most established sellers, it's gonna be like $500 in giveaways and things like that, but I think for a new seller, you should not be giving away that much product. Absolutely not. Let's do like $100 in giveaways. That's gonna be a fair amount of product, and we're still gonna be able to generate some reviews and things like that with that. And that is pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much what it's going to cost you to start this business, both as an established seller and lean, doing it as a new seller, low budget, keeping your risk very low. And there's a couple things on here that people are probably wondering, right? Like, where is LLC formation? Why did we not file for an LLC? Well, guys, I don't think you should file for much legal paperwork until you have a company. Like, to me, when I'm starting a new company, I'm generally going to make at least a few $1,000s of profit before I have to worry about the paperwork and making sure that it's filed properly with the state. Now, of course, I'm not a lawyer. Go talk to a lawyer if you want.
I'm just the best goddamn bird lawyer in the world.
As a startup entrepreneur, I can tell you that I've started a lot of businesses without any LLC whatsoever, and then just went back and retroactively set it up after I knew the business was going to be a success. Another thing a lot of people waste money on is your own website. You do not need your own website to get started in this business. The reason this business model is so incredible is Amazon's allowing you to use their customers, their infrastructure, their warehouses, everything to launch your new physical product brand from scratch, perfect the offering, and then you can take it off to your own website when it can actually stand on its own, right? The beauty of this business model is we are going to be able to just focus on the offer, on the product, on making the perfect offer for this customer, and we can make a ton of money while we do that. At any other point in history, to start a new physical product brand from scratch, you are talking tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of investment. So do not go and create your own website, because then you have to learn Facebook ads, you have to learn conversion optimization, web design. There are so many different things that you'll have to learn when it comes to building and driving traffic to your own website. Whereas Amazon, they are desperate for your products. They need more awesome products to sell to their customers, and they will pay you very handsomely. Another thing you won't see on here is expensive training courses and things like that. Now, guys, if you do want to get serious about this and really expedite the process and become more successful quicker, then yeah, courses, training programs are good. I would recommend even a virtual mastermind program, over a static course or some videos or something. Like the program that we've been running, E-commerce Empire, we've been doing that since 2014, have the same thousands and thousands of successful sellers hanging out in our community all the time. So that type of virtual mastermind program, you can actually get in there and have conversations with currently active, successful sellers that are way far ahead of where you are. So that can really help expedite things, obviously. But is it necessary? No, absolutely not. I've seen thousands of people make it in this business with no courses, no training, no masterminds. So you can make it happen on your own. But obviously, yeah, courses, training, that sort of thing is definitely going to help. And the last thing I'll mention on here too is Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, any type of external advertising. I don't think is a good idea, especially when you're first getting started. There's a really big trend of people wanting to do Facebook ads and YouTube ads and many chat bots and all these crazy things for their Amazon products. But the thing is, guys, when you're first getting started, you're thinking like people are running Facebook ads to make money. You only lose money running Facebook ads to Amazon products. The reason you do this is, yeah, if I'm selling, vitamin C, a super high volume, super competitive keyword, maybe I'm willing to lose some money on Facebook ads to drive my organic ranking up before Black Friday or Cyber Monday. Or maybe maybe my product just dropped to a 4-star review and I need to get it back to a 4.5. So maybe I'm fine losing money on Facebook ads to get those reviews, right? All of these things are valid, like it happens. People are using Facebook ads to do things to their Amazon products. But the idea that you can profitably run Facebook ads to an Amazon product and consistently make money like that, I've never seen it, and I know a lot of Amazon sellers. So I would recommend staying away from any type of external advertising, Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads. Save all of that for later down the road when you have your own website, when you are ready to do that stuff. But for right now, again, the magic is we are selling on Amazon. We don't need to pay for every single person that looks at the product, right? Amazon is going to give us customers for free. We don't have to learn Facebook ads. We don't have to pay for it. So don't do it. I don't know why it's such a trendy thing.
Stop it. Get some help.
You can launch a ultra successful Amazon product with just the things in blue here. All right, so after adding everything up, the official, like recommended, what do we want to do with the product launch? That's going to cost about $6,000 to launch a new physical product brand from scratch in 2020 on Amazon. It's going to cost about $6,000. Now, there's a lot of different places that you can put in a little extra work. You can cut corners, you can delay investments, and they're not going to affect the success or failure of your launch. If you pay for these or don't pay for these, most of the time it's just convenience factor, honestly. Because when you're up and running, like, you want to just launch a product and be done with it and have it out there, right? When you're just getting started, you're fine going back to the product and back to the product and back. So I would say for someone just getting started, doing it really lean, it's going to be about $2,600, just under $3,000. So I would say expect to invest just under $3,000 for every new product brand that you want to launch. Now, every additional product that you launch, especially within the same brand, the risk gets lower and lower and lower as you have that customer base to sell to, right? So once your brand is up and running, it becomes much easier to just expand and add products to that product line. But that first product launch, that's what's going to be really complicated. That's what's going to be risky. And this is what I'd recommend for you. If you're up and selling already, then your launch probably looks very similar to this, and it's going to cost just over $6,000 to do it. But if you're just getting started, you need to be a little bit more tactical, and you need to be really smart about where you're investing and when you're investing. And doing it that way, you can delay or defer a lot of expenses until after you're profitable, after you're up and selling. And in that way, you can reach profitability putting in just under $3,000 of investment up front. Now again, if this budget is just way outside of what you can do right now, check out the video I just did about making money online from home right now, because that's a lot of different ways that you can start converting your time to money, and then you can take some of that money and invest it into some long-term business models like this one. But this is what it's going to cost you to start this business from scratch, guys, and it gets more expensive every year because more and more people are doing it. There's more buyers than ever before, but there's also more sellers that are willing to invest more, and they're willing to do it more quickly. So as everyone realizes what a crazy opportunity Amazon is, these numbers go up. There's more opportunity now on Amazon than ever before, but it's also going to cost you a little bit more to capture it because it's just a more mature business now. So get out there, guys, make it happen. Stop waiting. Like, seriously, so many of you have been trying to do this since like 2015 and just saying, time's not right, maybe next year. Now's the time, guys. Like, get out there. E-commerce sales are blowing up. It's unbelievable growth happening. You got to get out there. You got to get started. And I just gave you the whole blueprint on how to do it. I also have a great video I just did last week about how to get started in this business in 2020. I'll put it up in this corner for you. Guys, that's it. That's all I got for you. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, and comment below. Let's keep the conversation going. Let me know any further questions you have or any other videos that you want me to make. But that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.